the strongest response we've had from the middle school in a long time. Just under 25 essays submitted. So as you guys are here, pretty awesome, right? Our first winner from the middle school division is Trinity Mooney.
So we all know Martin Luther King Jr., but do we all know and follow his 6 principles? One of MLK's many principles is that nonviolence is a way of life for courageous people. This can be proven by quotes from even famous people who stood up for the things they believed in, such as Rosa Parks and even Nelson Mandela. Rosa Parks is one of the most prevalent people who has done this. Rosa did not stand by racism. She stood up for what she believed in, even though at the time she could have gotten arrested. And well, she did. She did get arrested for it, but she was still courageous in the end. She didn't let the fact that she was arrested change what she believed in. She stayed courageous even though all of the hardships she went through. Rosa Parks was arrested in December 1955 for refusing to observe public bus segregation laws, which provided King's first opportunity to test a nonviolent approach to violent actions against people of color. Her courage could encourage many people now to help others and be sure to stick up for what you believe in, even if at the time it is technically wrong. Martin Luther King Jr. is still known today for all the times he stood up for what he believed in. Even though it could have been wrong at the time, King once said, "The end is recollection, the end is redemption. The end is the creation of the beloved community." This proves just how much he wanted peace and courageous people in the community, regardless of race, gender, and ethnicity. Nelson Mandela was a person of color who soon became the president of South Africa in 1994. He lived in the apartheid era and envisioned a future for South Africa to eradicate racism and have any adults, regardless of gender, able to vote for a constitutional democracy. In 1952, Nelson was severely restricted in travel, association, and speech. Mandela would spend 27 years in prison for leading the African National Congress, otherwise known as ANC. It opposed the police who kept the black South Africans segregated. Those people were often in inhumane conditions. Nelson Mandela was used nonviolent tactics like strikes and demonstrations to protest apartheid. Mandela helped escalate the struggle as a leader of the Defiance campaign. This encouraged many black participants to actively violate laws. Nelson eventually negotiated with the state president F.W. de Klerk to end apartheid in South Africa. It brought peace to a racially divided country and led to the fight for human rights around the world. As you can see, Martin Luther King Jr.'s principles were used by courageous people like Parks and Mandela. Even though they weren't legal at the time, they still fought for what they believed in, stayed courageous. People should fight for what they believe in, but it doesn't always have to be in a violent way. There's almost always a non-violent option.
My name is Quinn. I am in 5th grade and I'm from Cogan Elementary. Love instead of hate. Returning hate for hate multiplies hate, adding deeper darkness to a night of already divided stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. This is one of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous quotes about how nonviolence chooses love instead of hate. In this essay, I will be educating you on Principle 5 of Martin Luther King Jr.'s beloved community. Nonviolence chooses love instead of hate by resisting violence of the spirit as well as the body. and how nonviolent love is spontaneous, unmotivated, unselfish, and creative. To start with, nonviolence resists violence of the spirit as well as the body. First, spirit means to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is to mentally break you down, to bully you, and to abuse you with their words. Next, this usually begins with someone being mean to the bully or mistake. Then they feel it is okay to do it to you. Last, if someone doesn't stop the bullying people as their kid, they become even worse with bullying when they are an adult. In one of Martin Luther King Jr.'s famous quotes, "Hate is too great, a burden to bear." This quote shows how to help ease hate. To end with, nonviolent love is spontaneous, unmotivated, unselfish, and creative. First, love is spontaneous. It means you do not have to plan love, it just happens. Next, unmotivated love means you don't have to be persuaded for love. Then, unselfish love means to love someone without needing to get a gift in return for your love. Last, creative love means to love someone in different ways. All of these reasons show how love is spontaneous, unmotivated, unselfish, and creative. Finally, in this essay, we learned about how Principle 5 nonviolence is endearment and sanity, and how nonviolence holds out against violence, and how nonviolent endearment is spontaneous. As in the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. How do you live your life as a freedom? One way I do it is by making friends and making sure no one bullies you. Just like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I believe that nonviolence is the key to achieve many things like friendship and understanding. If you don't understand, let me explain. To come to an understanding is a double-sided thing. If one agrees and one does not, it would immediately result to fight. In the end, nonviolence creates our community and the internet. The afterlife of the great and livable community. To create that, we have found ways to live a nonviolent life. These days, coming to agreement and friendship is imperfect, because not everyone wants to accept us. The things that happen now are tearing our community apart, and we need to rebuild it. Even one person doing something so little can help out. In this world, many judge by appearance, religion, and race. Judging someone based on those things, especially race, is wrong. I have never felt personally victimized, but I know others have. Teaching and spreading racism is not doing good enough for me. It's like a mother whispering into her child's ear not to talk to that little girl because she's black, and then telling her child wrong, horrible, and false things the child will do to her if she interacts with her. Telling children at young ages will affect the way they see others in the future. Then the kids will continue to change to others. Dr. King didn't lead all of his protests and marches for people to still not accept one another for who they are. People should not have to be scared to go outside of their houses without getting hurt. This is why we can make our community go up. Friendship is a word of coming together. We would use this word when talking about someone who we care about and are close to. I have many friends who I love very much. I am an African American child. I have many friends of many different races who don't discriminate against me because of what I look like. If only we could find this not only in my small town, but in our entire world. Just thinking about that raises my life. If our community could all get along with no wars, racism, or attacks, community would be better than ever. This community is fighting between many dangers and reasons. I may be just one small voice of a little girl from Fremont, Ohio, but I believe every opinion matters. So starting today, using your voice too, let's make the beloved community Dr. King work so hard for peacefully.
Good morning, my name is Jariah Martin, and I am 12 years old in the 7th grade, and I attend Fremont Middle School. Contestants this year were asked to write an essay on one of the 6 principles of the beloved community by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Although the principles are set, it is hard to write just one without at least mentioning the others. In the heart of the civil rights movement, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. passionately advocated for the principle of nonviolence, emphasizing choosing love over hate. Imagine a world where love trumps hate, where compassion conquers conflict. That's what Dr. King dreamed of when he talked about the beloved community. He was all about a revolution of heart, a nonviolent one that chooses love instead of hate. Nonviolence, according to Dr. King, is a brave stand against the violence that can dwell with the spirit. It involves not only opposing physical harm, but also resisting the biting effects of hatred. By choosing love, individuals contribute to the creation of a beloved community, a society built on justice, equality, and harmony. The vision extends beyond merely resisting physical violence. It is aimed to create a community where the spirit of individuals will be free from the shackles of hatred. A place where people don't just tolerate each other, they actually care. It's about not letting hate mess with your head and your heart. We all need to just love without overthinking it, without plotting our next move. It's like when you see a friend who's having a rough day. You give them a high five or just say a kind word to them. No agenda, just pure, spontaneous love. We need to rise above revenge and personal gain with this love. It's like when your little sister grabs the last slice of pizza, and instead of getting mad, you're like, hey, you can have it, enjoy. I'm still working on that part. Unmotivated love is the secret that turns conflicts into opportunities for understanding. That's the kind of love that builds a beloved community. Unselfishness is a key aspect of nonviolent love. Dr. King emphasized the need for individuals to prioritize the well-being of others over their own desires. We have to let go of the me attitude and focus on the we. Imagine a place where helping each other out is just what you do, not something you expect a pat on the back for. In a beloved community, selfless acts of kindness become the building blocks of a society that values the dignity and worth of every person. Creativity is the final pillar of nonviolent love in Dr. King's vision. Instead of responding to hatred with more hatred, he encouraged individuals to find innovative and peaceful solutions to the conflict. The beloved community thrives on creating problem solving that rejects violence as means of achieving justice. It becomes a driving force for positive change, turning the tide against injustice and oppression and building bridges instead of walls. Dr. King of the beloved community teaches us that nonviolence is merely the absence of physical harm, but a conscious choice to embrace love over hate. It is not just a dream, it is a roadmap for all of us to make the world a better place. One spontaneous, unmotivated, unselfish, and creative that will become a powerful force that can transform individuals into societies. Think how wonderful the world would be if each one of us is sitting here today would strive to build a beloved community. What a principle of nonviolence guides us, actions, and shapes a future grounded in compassion and justice. Life doesn't get better by chance, it gets better by change. Let's be the change that this world needs. Thank you.